Say what?
So, Mike, I just hit record because I know we're running tight on time, and I thought, you know what, we're cool guys. We can wing this one.
Sure.
So what I thought would be neat to talk about as we gear up for the rest of the week, and we have shows coming up every morning this week, but today to talk a little bit about the schedule, the arc, so to speak, of the event, tell people what to expect when they arrive.
You bet. You know, one of the thoughts I had, too, is we can even talk a little about the individual speakers. But, again, Social Media 201 is designed for that company or individual who says, okay, I've got a presence in social media, on Twitter or Facebook, whatever. How do I go the next level? One of the folks that's coming and speaking to us is Daniel Rasmus. He's a noted author, speaker, comes out of Microsoft several years with the SharePoint side. And people will say, well, Microsoft really isn't in the open source, really not part of the social web. But yet SharePoint is used in many organizations. Darren, I'm sure you found it in use at many companies that you've worked with.
Certainly. SharePoint's been a phenomenal collaboration tool across the infrastructure for many years.
Yeah, it's what the challenge is. People don't quite understand the change in work habits or the change in environment, and that's one thing that Daniel will be talking to us about. As a matter of fact, we're changing our agenda a little bit for the day that's currently on the website because Daniel's been asked to speak in Toronto to a huge group of CIOs, and so he's going to be hopping a plane early in the conference day. So we're going to actually move him up a little bit in our presentation to give Daniel time to share his message earlier in the day before he heads off to speak to all these CIOs about this collaborative technology.
It's exciting. You talk about SharePoint, you talk about other social collaboration in the workspace. In the last week, you mentioned the wikis, and that's the same energy behind SharePoint. I'm glad
we're seeing a lot of that. Yeah, we're seeing, and there's a lot of competitors. If you take a look, one of our sites that's free is this web2review.com. People can go out there and use that site for completely free and look up wikis if they want to find out a good wiki solution for themselves. You and I have talked about using wikis in our mastermind calls and so forth. And it's a change of habits. It's a way to share information, to share versioning control, and to really collaborate across platforms. We've actually implemented it for several of our enterprise clients, and they're doing great.
I feel like you should have props prepared, but Web2 Review is probably the best site out there for finding out about the different free software as a service apps out there and many of the low-cost solutions for your business. You have to check it out.
Thanks, Darren. Appreciate the plug, man.
I mean, whoever runs it, I don't know, but good guy.
It's those fresh boys again. But anyway, that's a great tool to use, and again, free, so it's at the right price, you know. But it's not just the tools are on there. There's over, I think, 3,000 tools that are reviewed today on that site.
I'm liking it. Well, let's talk about the rest of the speakers. I know we got quite a few people coming, so we're starting off the day. I know you're going to be kicking everything off.
Yeah.
And then we're diving into Eric Weaver, who we learned a little bit more about on Friday, what he's putting together, and I'm blown away with it.
Yeah, I don't even know if I could surmise what he's going to talk about in this portion, but the way he approaches it and the visuals he uses and the stories he uses, Darren, are so engrossing. It's just great fun to hear him speak. I heard him speak last September, and he comes from years of working in the advertising and marketing industry with Tribal, and they work with big brands, easily recognizable brands, and his war stories and kind of get over it and start using social media. This is where things are going. That messaging is loud and clear in everything he does, he says, and he uses these great stories to draw all that together. When I heard him last year, by the way, he talked about how people are recruiting on the web and how people are looking for people with talent, looking at their social media presence and recruiting through that medium. Have you seen that too, Darren?
I've definitely seen that, Mike. A lot more people are looking into that, as well as these tools out there that can basically go out there and ferret back with all this information about the potential candidate. It's a whole new way of collaboration because when you take a look at the social sphere, it's different now. You could see how people build their relationships. So it's not just a post, a resume, the ladders anymore, but it's an actual opportunity to see that person in action and say, we want that part of their personality with our company.
Absolutely. When I was in high school, I wanted to go to the Naval Academy and fly jets. And the main thing that the academies looked for was well-rounded. They want to see, were you in sports? Were you in theater? Were you in debate class? They want somebody who's done it all and excelled at it all. Okay, so now go to our employers today versus in the 80s when I was in high school. And now those employers can look at that complete 360 view instead of just having a piece of paper with your resume information there, just what you want to say. They can look at a lot of information available on the web or those collaborative networks. So you have LinkedIn profiles, Twitter feeds, Uvu calls like what we're doing right now. People can see those types of deliverables and components that make up who you are and get that much more complete picture. Just like Darren, you're a musician, and you're a public speaker and you're a presence. You're more than just a person. You have a presence in social media and are an influencer. Even I would go so far to say a maven in this space, Darren.
Thank you. I gotta say, this is the part that excites me the most because you really have the opportunity to be yourself and be your own brand. And for anyone in business or looking for a new career or looking to get their message out there, to be able to weave, I have to drop his name, that multi-tapestry aspect of ourselves where they could say, yeah, here's the work accomplishments, here's the family, here's this person in sports, here's what they do with the community, here's how they take care of their health. Anything you want to put out there, you could certainly make it easier for people to find out more about you. On the same note, anything you do is out there for people to find out about you. So that brings us to the how to package it. Like Eric was talking about on Friday, the old way doesn't work anymore.
Yeah, and it can be a bit of a word of caution. If you've got some skeletons in the closet, that kind of thing, they may come out. And they most likely will at some point. So just kind of be aware of that and think about that. Be careful how you treat others.
It's funny. I had a grooming call this weekend with my videographer, and he said that as he works with people, they have key points they like to avoid. Just different things he mentioned. He's learned with different people he's filmed, you don't talk about this, you don't bring this. He goes, Darren, are there any limitations? He goes, your background with the phone hacking or this or that, are there any things that I should avoid? So of course not. Life's real easy when you're transparent and you're open. Now, that works for me, and that doesn't necessarily mean that works for everybody. And one of the things we'll be sharing with people at Social Media 201 is how to actually bring in that brand of visual instead of just that here's my company, here's me. How do we work together?
Absolutely.
And that kind of brings us to Kristen, I guess, when you think about it in her message.
Yeah, I'm going to have to wrap the call for today, Darren, but we should definitely talk about some of these other folks that are going to be speaking because they're amazing.
We went over. What a surprise. Okay, stop the recording. Socialmedia201.com. Get your tickets. There's still some available, and you're not going to regret this.
Thanks, Darren. Have a good one.
Thanks, Mike.